Well, look, I'll just be straight with everyone. I'll tell you the brief I've got from the board. The brief I've got from the board is to reinvent this British icon for the next generations. That's my brief. That's what I'm totally razor focused on. And I suspect Terry is as well. But I mean, Terry can definitely speak for himself, but I know we're being chit-chatting about it. I think in terms of the workforce, I mentioned it earlier on, we have trust at the doorstep. We need trusted relationships everywhere we have within the organization. And I'm personally very, very proud that we have some of, if not in most cases, the best conditions in town. And I think we should be really, really proud of that. So Ricky, the answer to the question is, overall, my absolute fixated focus during my time here, which I expect to be long and successful, with thanks to everyone that's on this call, is to reinvent this British icon for the next generations, have trusted relationships everywhere, and for us all to be proud of wearing the badge and working for a company that has some of, if not the best conditions in town. I think that would be great.
At the start of last year, this company was running at a loss. It's not now. It's profitable. There were shareholders trying to make moves on us because of that, because they want to cash in on their money. We're talking about splitting up the company, selling GLS. Look what they wanted to do to Parcelforce. I have absolutely no doubt in saying to anybody that this is an amazing agreement for our members. We've still got employment, standard living and retirement security. Have a look around us. There ain't many people that have got that now. We have still got that. We've protected it after 4 years of disputes. We've protected it on the basis we've got an agreement to build on the policies that we had. They were our policies to grow this business and embrace the change, but on the basis that our people are properly rewarded and they got employment security, they got proper pensions, all that sort of stuff. So, we might not like little bits and pieces of work. We might not like the days we have to deliver it on. But we can't put ourselves in a position that we're turning away work, which then could lead to other contracts being lost and then could mean people losing their jobs. That ain't our game, and that's not what we're going to do.
And look, the other thing I would say is that, look, it's the old thing, isn't it? People do not forget how you've made them feel. They might forget what you've said. And I do acknowledge that there is some scar tissue around the place. I think the atmosphere over the last period of time has probably not been the best. And I'm sure some of us have said some things to each other that we might regret and are probably not terribly being forgotten. But we need to acknowledge that. We need to acknowledge it takes a period of time for that repair to come. But, it's just not optional. Terry mentioned, Terry and I have been doing some listening groups recently. And one thing that we hear totally consistently is that during the pandemic, we have actually found a way to work together, everybody, in an absolutely brilliant way against some extraordinary circumstances. And we just need to keep that going. And when I go out and about, and I'm out and about a lot, I have to say that I think people are relieved that we've got this agreement in many cases. Personally, I'm really excited about it, but I understand there's a lot of people are relieved. And I think we're now starting to get some momentum. But I think what I said at the start is probably the key thing of what I've said, is that having trusted relationships everywhere, whether it's senior managers in the CWU or whoever else it might be, it's just not optional. It needs to happen.
We knew where we were just over a year ago, Chris. The business was earmarked for losing money. We were talking about thousands of job losses. Forget the RICO back plan. The RICO back plan would have, in our estimate, would have taken out 30 or 40,000 people, because they were up to doing away with, the 5 or 6 or 5 day USO. They'd have gone even less on the USO. They were fixated on parcels and parcels alone, and just wanted to build up an international parcel company. So the vision was all wrong. But when we went into these talks after RICO had gone, there was still the proposals on the table were still job cuts. It was up to about 12,000 jobs, I think, this year. It was still cutting terms and conditions. It was cutting things like sick pay and, tightening up on attendance procedures. It was all about bearing down on the employee. It's drastically changed. These are conversations we've been wanting. This is our moment. We fought to have a right to shape the future of this industry. Reinvigorate Royal Mail, redesign it, Royal Mail for a next generation, however you want to put it. That's exactly what this union fought for. And we're doing it. And what a start we've had. because we're already talking about more products and services, more 7-day working. These were union policies as well, by the way. And we are getting work in, and but every now and again you get a dip. At the moment, there's a dip in revenue, there's a dip in parcels, and of course, people look at the numbers. We're doing deals like this, which put money in our members' pockets, treat them fairly, treat them with respect, and reward them appropriately. But you ain't to be able to keep doing that, are you? If you've got a company that don't make no money. So the conversation now is far more, for me. This is the conversation we wanted. You can still be tough, and we are tough as a union. We force things like this agreement. You don't get these things from a business. They don't just come along, give it to them like a birthday present, do they? You have to argue your case, and you have to have strong logic. But if we improve the culture, it's massive in Royal Mail. You get the culture right, and people feel proud about the job. People feel motivated. You've got to have vocational sense of purpose, and so we should, But I mean, over the course of the last 4 years where we've been in dispute, and the magnificent support people have given us, we've not taken one day of industrial action, and yet we've got pay deals all the way through it. I think it tots up to about 16% in terms of pay, with the 2 hours off the shorter working week, etc. I've got to be honest with you, Chris, I don't think anyone's got near it. So it's not for us to come on here and, I mean, I don't want to feel like we're boasting. And then, I mean, my wife works for the NHS, so she's a nurse. So, what do you think she thinks? We're ahead of the game on the green agenda. There's no reason, and this is what the union has always said, there's no reason this can't be a massively successful company and public service and outperform everybody else and be the company of choice to work for, to use, etc., and the #1 company for ethical investment. That's what we're striving for. That is what we're striving for. But how can you change the culture unless you start addressing some of these issues that are blatantly unfair to the people who work for Royal Mail? That's how we're getting these agreements. But I will say this to everyone. It ain't like, money just falling out the air. We still got to be successful as a business, and we will be driving that as well. We won't win contracts. We won't get growth. We won't save Parcel Force unless we can perform right, unless we can get the work in, unless we can get the revenue in. But, to a lot of companies would have said to you, yeah, all right, we'll jam tomorrow. You can't have these things till a lot later or 3 years' time. Let's see if you're successful. No, we're doing it. Mutual interest, something with the business, something with the union, something with the business, something with the members, moving forward together. We're putting the things in, trying to repair the things that drags people down.
Right. So if we do the survey, we don't change, then you're well within your rights to hold us to account and ask us why. I'm cool with that, because I know we're going to do something with it. And by the way, we're doing this together. So, it's myself, it's Terry and the team, it's Michelle and the team at Unite as well. So the proof will always be in the pudding, as they say. I can understand why people might historically have felt they've said things and it hasn't gone anywhere. I have to say, I've got a totally different point of view. And by the way, in terms of my own agenda, and you can certainly ask my team, they will tell you that the top of my agenda is trust. Trust everywhere. We have trust on the doorstep. It's crazy that we don't have trust everywhere. And when we get that trust, and I think Terry said it very, very well, then competition, look out. Because we already got some fantastic advantages. Imagine what it would be like when we're all really pulling in the same direction to really win. And trust will be the great unlock in making sure that we reinvent this British icon for the next generations.
I know how hard the job is, and we've all been there, and there's days you really want to kick off and you've had enough, and there's days, but I just urge you, think about it. Don't take it for granted what we've got. Talk to your friends, especially now it's going to open up and you're going to be able to get out socialising. Just reconnect with them people and ask them about their jobs and what they're doing and what they do and what they don't get. So this is all to play for, Chris. I think this is our agreement, which everyone said was a great agreement, and everyone was supportive of it. This is us taking that agreement. We are honouring that agreement. We want to take it forward, and we will hold Royal Mail and anyone else to account if they try to renege on that agreement again and go back to for what we were fighting the last 4 years with people who never had ambition for Royal Mail as the great public service as it is, never had an intention of building upon that, but rather had the intention of stripping it back just to be some massive parcel company with international connections. That's not where we are now. So You know, just reflect on that and remember where we were, what we fought for, what we've now got. And if people come at us again, we stand again, don't we? But I'm very optimistic. I absolutely believe this is different, but we've got to do our bit as well. All of us, our members and reps, we've got to do our bit. It's a tough world out there. There's people lining up against us in the form of shareholders and investors and everything else. And I think we've got to get them people into a place where they realise, and customers, that if they use our members, if they come with Royal Mail, then actually by being associated with us, it makes them look better. It makes their companies better when they say Royal Mail are delivering our products or Royal Mail are doing this for us, because we're such a special organisation. And if we're special on the doorstep and we're special in the workplace, then I tell you now, the vibe will be tremendous, and those companies will be in that position. And that's what it's all about. Let's get the work in, protect the public service, protect you, the members. Nothing changes. That is always our remit, and we're not going to sell you down a river and never have to. And shareholders and anyone else watching, we've got to make people feel that this is something special, and they're investing their money in something special. By investing in us, it's making them look better. By customers using us, it's making them look better. It's making their product look better, because we are Royal Mail. And we've got a proud army of postal workers out there on the street, loved by the public. This is the real time to big it up. But we can't do that if the culture's no good. We can't do that if people don't trust each other and can't work together. That's why this is serious, because it is key to everything else we want to do. We've got to get this right, and we are determined to do it. And anyone listening, if you're talking to someone in work tomorrow, one of your mates, this is no different when we're putting all our energy into a ballot in bad times. We now need all the same energy into this. Tell them to fill this in, because this isn't a one-off that's just going to go into a cupboard and get ignored. This is going to be the start of something. And if you want to tell us something good or bad, you're not going to get exposed as an individual. You fill that in and make sure we know about it, because it's the only way we can take the business forward.
One of the questions I think lots of members are interested in is, you yourself have dealt with multiple CEOs, multiple company leaders at your time in the union. Do you feel that this leader is different? Do you feel this situation is different yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, I'll speak as I find. If you get let down on that, I'll soon tell everybody. And people have seen that side of us as well. We're not in here. We haven't fought for 4 years to then suddenly just, hand everything over because we've run out of steam. Well, we haven't. In fact, we're re-energizing ourselves on the future now, that's arguably, there's more work going on for national officers and PE members, and there certainly will be in the field with all the revision activity, more work that was going on, more positive work than was ever going on during the dispute. That was sort of campaigning and things like that. So no, I absolutely believe, and I speak as I find, and I'm straight with people. And I'll tell you, this feels different. The conversations are different. So many things, a bit disconcerting at first, because there's so many things that you do agree on. And I think what's happening is people have seen how the CEO's going out into the workplace, and I've been with him on one of those visits, and he's not walking around with managers. He's going off and talking to the people. He really wants to find out what the issues are. And when we then discuss them, when he discovers certain things, there's so many of them, I have to say, yeah, I know. That's what's been going on, or that's what hasn't happened. I know there's not enough vans. I know some of the places are not fit for purpose. I don't think people understand what our members have coped with and still delivered a fantastic service. So, the agenda for the things we want to put right grows. There's only so much you can do at any one time. There's only so much you can invest in at any one time. But the agenda constantly grows. There is so much to be done. This industry was starved of investment. And to try and get more and more out of it, I believe an adversarial, which, can be perceived as bullying culture, however you want to put it, but certainly an adversarial manager versus union versus worker attitude was encouraged. Well, it starts with leadership, which is why we're doing this tonight. It starts with a message from us that this is different. This is just the start of something that will keep going. So different forms of this survey, if we had to come to certain areas, if we had to do it on a quarterly basis with a lot less questions, we know it's essential that we do this. So some people would have approached it a different way in the past. They would have said it's essential that we get this piece of technology in. It's essential, whatever, it doesn't matter that we change the job or everyone's on late or whatever. It's all that, but nothing is possible. Nothing is possible from a positive perspective and people embracing stuff unless you get people in the right place, unless you've got the right culture. You just got to think about someone you trust. And if they say something to you, you're not automatically thinking, hello, what are they after? What are they saying that? You know, when you don't trust someone, it just breeds negativity and resistance to things we want to do. It's really important that our workplaces feel that they've got autonomy on a daily basis to work together and deal with the problems and the solutions, not someone in some, you know, building in London or anyone else just, and the computer says this. Those people are facing daily challenges, they have done during this pandemic. And we know if we get the right relationships, they can do that. That is far stronger than anything else. Then when we have to bring in new technology or new ways of working or whatever, it's a different conversation. It's a problem-solving conversation. It's looking for a solution in the right way. And if you do that and you can pull off this trick and mutual interest going forward, you watch us go, Royal Mail. You watch us go, and our members and the people of this country will benefit from that, absolutely.